Welcome to another episode of the Coffee Conversation show powered by the Emerging India Forum TEIF and our tech partner Prime Infotech Solution. Today's series is Shakti and the topic is Graphology and Beyond Insights from the Expert. We have our guest speaker, Preeti Gandhi, a certified graphologist and coach who has dedicated since 2.5 years to helping individuals discover their true potential and lead fulfilling life through her company, Soul Writing. She has a background in branding and brand management. And with Graphology, she leverages expertise to empower others in their professional and personal journey. So welcome, Preeti, to this Coffee Conversation episode. This is part of Women's Day celebrations. So you're the fifth speaker who will be having a conversation. So just wanted to share with you, this conversation is divided into three parts. First part is your professional journey. Second part is your personal journey. And third part is a surprise rapid fire round.
Okay, I like the sound of that. And hello everyone, Preeti Gandhi here.
Okay, so let's begin our professional journey. First question. So Preeti, how has the journey been from a career woman to an entrepreneur?
So, luckily for me, I was always an entrepreneur, except my initial 4-5 years in IT, where I would work for someone, either programming or training. But after that, branding and advertising, it was me and my best friend and business partner who co-founded Vivid Brand Communication, which was the branding agency. So there, it was that 21 good years was again an entrepreneurship. So being an entrepreneur all the time. So it was just the thought that kya karna hai, and then things would just start flowing.
Okay. So now branching into graphology, handwriting expert, you came up with the name of Soul Writing. So what is the story behind this? Since you're from brand management, so something.
Yeah, that's a good question. Soul Writing, the name comes from my journey into graphology. Handwriting really helped me to connect with myself. Somewhere where I felt like a bit of a soul who was slightly lost, who couldn't figure out that what is my kind of anchor, what's my grounding point. So handwriting got me connected with that. And that's how the name Soul Writing comes, because I mean, as human beings, all of us, after all these years of journey, I strongly believe each one of us has a purpose. The soul has come here for some reason. And writing helps you to connect with that, that inside of you, and helps you, function from that space. And hence the name Soul Writing.
Okay, that's a very interesting name. So now, how has this journey been 2.5 years of Soul Writing as an entrepreneur, graphology? What are the ups and downs, and how did you manage all those things?
So Soul Writing per se, yes, was born in 2021. The graphology journey has been longer, but right now I'll just speak about Soul Writing. So it first was that the surprise for everyone, that from, when you say I'm an advertising professional, there's a certain chip on your shoulder you have, like advertising. It's all glam and the world of ads, and it's a very happening world to be in. And from there, when I say that I'm a graphologist, so for people it's like, third, ye kya ho gaya? And so yeah, it was kind of interesting in a way, and funny also. Fortunately, it happened at a time in my life where I was not very much bothered by what others think. having to please others. So it didn't happen at that space. Otherwise, I probably would have given it up. It happened at a time when, I'm more connected with myself. I'm more confident of what I want to do, whether I meet success at the end of it or failure. That was secondary when I started. For me, the thing was that this is a space I want to create for myself and for those people who are in that space of, okay, who am I? Who am I? What am I? And to answer that, and then the subsequent questions is why the soul writing was created. So despite the little surprises and big surprises and some resistance to the idea, I kept on with it, not knowing where it would take me, very frankly speaking. And coaches along the way have helped me find my niche. So it has been a journey of starting with belief, uh, and then gradually it getting shaped by coaching, by my own clarity on what I want to do. Because graphology is a huge space. There are tens of things you can do. I didn't want to do all 10 of them. So figuring that out, getting in connect with that. So it has been a wonderful tidal journey. Kabhi high tide hai, kabhi low tide hai, but yes, the ocean is there. I mean, it's not going. It's very much there.
So, we'd like to have some insights if a client approaches you for a graphology session or in writing, he wants to change his handwriting or do some changes with graphology in his personal life. So, what are the various steps you follow, and what are the after your session? What steps he has to follow further so that that change is integrated in his life?
So first thing is that this is a time of instant gratification. So people come with the idea कि आप मुझे change दो, मैं ये change लिखूंगा, and the next morning I'm a different person. So the first thing I get them aware of is that you want to change, great, but change what and why? And then once you get into the detail of it, the depth of it, the person is kind of more aware of what he or she is getting into. There are times that it scares people because getting so much of talking with yourself is not something everybody is prepared to do. So there would be some people who would, after understanding the process would say, okay, I will get back to you. And I know that probably this is not the time for the person. There will come a time. Then whether they do with me or with some other modality is a different thing, but probably this is not the time. But yeah, how I go about doing is the first thing is understanding the person, not through the lens of that person. मैं तो ऐसा ही हूँ, मैं तो वैसा ही हूँ. Not through the lens of their husband, their spouse, husband or wife. Not through their lens. Not through the lens of their friends. Not through the lens of their colleagues. It's just the lens of your being, unbiased, unfiltered. So that's what handwriting analysis, gives the power to a person to know himself or herself, unbiased. So once that comes into picture, and then once we have a clarity on what is the goal they want to achieve, then understanding the roadblocks, because see, every human being will have good points and bad points.
Very true.
It is not possible that all your bad points can vanish, because actually speaking, there is no bad point. It's how you're using that point. Anger may be considered as a bad point, but anger is a great fuel. So it's how you use it. So understanding that what are the current roadblocks for that particular objective goal in your life, then we design a 30 days or a 90 days program where we practice very particular strokes, do deliberate writing along with a lot of other things, which we call it as the process of graphotherapy. And then step by step, we take the person through the process of one is first connecting with himself or herself. And I think the moment that connection happens, all of a sudden, all the doors and windows open up. So after a certain point in time, in a way, I have no role. And in a way, even that person has no role. Just the act of writing and opening those doors, new things start coming into your space. So whether it is in terms of your health, whether it is in terms of money or relationship or career, any of it. So that's how. So from analysis to graphotherapy and hand holding the person, every person reacts in a different way. Some people go in the shell, when they discover something or when they connect with something which scares them, they go in a shell. Some of them is like, no, aisa kaise ho sakta hai? This doesn't happen. Like, people react in a different way. So then tweaking the graphotherapy accordingly and then helping the person, be calm. Because when those new things come up, if you are agitated, you can't recognize them. So that's where the focus is.
That's interesting insight, covering and learning. So you have established yourself as a coach. How do you integrate your graphology sessions with coaching? So my question is divided in two parts: helping a business owner as well as a team.
So when it's a business owner, it is far more one-to-one. And it starts with graphology and graphotherapy, highly integrated by coaching. So that's for on a one-to-one basis, whether it's a business owner or an entrepreneur or any the tag doesn't matter, the label doesn't matter, as long as the person is wanting to work on himself or herself. When it's a team, then I have the workshop model, you call it a workshop or a master class, where, like, for example, how, so what is self-esteem? What is self-doubt? Understanding that thing in detail, because that's the space of team. That's the space of, a group in general. So understanding that particular thing, whether it is stress or self-esteem, understanding the different nuances, like why it comes, how it affects your day-to-day life, and most interestingly, how it shows up in your writing. So the person at that point in itself is able to, not depend on anybody to tell him or her, okay, where is my stress level or where is my self-esteem level. They get to see for themselves. And the awareness that comes by yourself is far more than, than the other ways. So once that awareness comes in, then it's a different story. And then depends on the company, how they want to do group exercises. Then it depends. Then it varies from company to company or
Very
club to club. Yeah.
interesting. Continuing conversation, share some success stories that you have recently or in the past, which will help the listeners to understand.
I would take up one story which is in relationship area. And this is one of my favorite story because frankly, I did not think the result would come so fast. I'll be honest there. This lady who is an insurance agent, she had relationship issues with her husband. They were not on talking terms for 7 years. And she was isolated at home. She came through some reference. And I said, let's work on it. And let's see where it takes. Because 7 years of not talking, and probably before that, certain years of disagreement, we are talking about a good period of time. So we started with it. One thing I must say about this lady is every day, whatever exercise I gave her, she did not even once question me, Preeti, why are you asking me to do this? Her thing was, Acha, this is what is to be done. And that is what she would do. Every day in the morning when I would wake up and when it was time for me to check the graphotherapy, so my client sent it to me on WhatsApp after doing it every morning. Hers would be the first one. Without fail, every single day, her writing would be there. And the initial 4-5 days, her experience would be like, I am in pain. I cannot tolerate this. I cannot tolerate my children not speaking to me, and a lot of other stories. On the 10th day, she calls me and tells me, Preeti, me and my husband spoke for half an hour and we did not fight. Now, that was a breakthrough for her. Not that the problem has solved, but it has now taken a direction of communication, of wanting to sit and talk. When that intention is there, you will find a way. So in terms of relationship, this was, for me also a surprise. I didn't expect a breakthrough in 10 days. And I must say it is, yes, the science and a huge part, her unwavering belief and her unwavering dedication that really played a big part. Another example I would like to share is a doctor um, who for whatever reasons, had a lot of self-doubt. She couldn't stand up for herself. A good doctor, a very flourishing practice, but she couldn't stand up for herself. And when I started doing the graphotherapy with her, she's an extremely fun person, extremely fun. So, after a week, she tells me in the one-to-one, the moment the one-to-one started, she said me, Preeti, what are you doing with my brain? And I'm like, what happened? She's saying, my brain is different. What are you doing? You tell me. And, it was like funny, but at the end of 30 days, there were few objectives she had set out for herself. She was able to achieve one big objective for herself by the time the 30th day came. She was able to voice her opinion. She was able to make her words count. So it was like an amazing story of, uh, how when you do something with intent, it works out for you. Because and when she said, what are you doing with my brain, all the technical thing came into my mind of graphology and graphotherapy, that beta, when I'm giving you this stroke, this is what I'm doing with your brain. When I'm giving you this stroke, this is what I'm doing with my brain. Of course, I didn't say all of that to her, but yeah, every stroke that you do is impacting certain part of the brain. I mean, handwriting is also known as brain writing. So that's another kind of a very wonderful story. There's another person who was again very who could not speak up for himself in the job. And one of the things that I really liked what he wrote to me was, Preeti, I find myself now. I find myself. I feel confident. And that's the tipping point. Once you feel that, then a lot of things can be achieved. So I can go on and on, but yes, in areas of relationship and in areas of, yourself, think these are some of the stories. Yeah.
Interesting, interesting. Uh, you must have encountered misconceptions about graphology. Uh, many, some of stupid things I've said to you. So, what are the funny incidents and how did you address them?
So one thing that is a misconception for many is that to aap mera future bata paoge. So I say this is not a predictive science. Your handwriting says the state of your mind today. In fact, when I do very deep work with people, I encourage them to share their probably school days writing, college days writing, 5 years back writing. That shows how the person has, what is the emotional graph of the person. So handwriting is a reflection of your current state of mind in terms of what are you thinking, what are the things that are impacting you. So it's not a predictive science. It's predictive science in an indirect way. Once you know what is your pattern of behavior, one can predict that given this situation, this is how the person will conduct himself or herself. But it's not a predictive science कि आपकी शादी ये साल में होगी. No, sorry. that's not for me. So it's not a predictive science. That's one of the misconceptions that people have. And other misconception people have is my writing is bad. So there's nothing anybody can do about it, you know. It's like, what will you do as a graphologist? I myself can't read my writing. So this concept of a good handwriting and a bad handwriting is something that is prevalent everywhere. Um, the fact being that there's no good handwriting, there's no bad handwriting. Handwriting is what it is. For a normal person, when they say good or bad, typically it is based on neatness, on legibility. While these two factors are important in your personality, but they don't make your handwriting good or bad. So these are, you know, two very common misconceptions that I come across graphology. And some of them, when they do the analysis, one lady was blown. She was like, Preeti, I thought you will tell me you are like this, you are like that. You are like this, you're like that. You are not this, you are this. I mean, I thought it would be more like a linear thing or a true and false kind of a thing. But I said, you've blown my mind away. Like, what is it that you're doing? I mean, okay, one person called me an X-ray machine. So that was interesting. It's like, you have taken my X-ray, Preeti. So yeah, these are some of the misconceptions.
Interesting. So in the world of graphology, whom do you follow in India and international?
Many. Sheila Lowe internationally is somebody, you know, who is very known for her macro analysis, for her gestalt way of analysis. Then there is Erica, and there are many more in the trait analysis. In India also there are many. I mean, and some of them are very popular as well. There's Sudhir Kove, there's Imran Beg, there's who's that other gentleman? I forgot his name. But yeah, there are many, and they really have played a huge role in making this science accessible. Uh, you know, when so many people come to know about it, and when they start practicing, more and more people can get benefit from this really simple science. I mean, simple and powerful science. You know, when you work with graphotherapy, it's not a very complicated way. It's a simple way, and simplicity has maximum power. So these people have really gone a long way in popularizing this science, and more people are now getting to know about it, and you know, want to try it out, and once somebody is in touch with handwriting analysis, they can't let it go. You would want to know, you know, what's next.
What's next?
Yes.
Interesting. So my next question, and this is part of the series of Women's Day internationally. What message will you give to women entrepreneurs out there?
There is no one simple answer. Me being a lady in city, I have a different life. I probably struggle. I have struggled with my self-identity, you know, standing up for myself in workplace, interacting with clients. So I've had a different kind of struggle, the gender bias. And when I go in smaller towns, there the struggle is different. There it's just the very essence of stepping outside the house is a liberation in itself. Just the other day, I was speaking to someone and she was so delighted. And you know what was the delight about? That I have 24-hour water supply. And, you know, it is what I don't have words, but they have a different struggle. A water supply, I mean, I take it for granted. My tap is on, and if I have to get another burtan, I'll keep the tap on, get the burtan, and get on with the job. For her, I mean, even that, whatever, 50 ml, 100 ml of water is precious. So I think every sector women's struggle is different. But in general, I think that women need to educate themselves, and that falls on the the other half of the world as well, the male gender, that we encourage not only the women of our house, but even women around. Maid hai, uski ladki hai. So when they are less on resources, they will educate their son rather than the girl child. So, we encourage the education. Once the education comes, they will fight their battle. So a woman in village may fight the battle of, stepping outside the house, of standing up for her children. Uh, a woman in the corporate world may be like, uh, asserting herself that I am capable of being a CEO and I deserve it. So do not discount me just because of my gender. So they all can have their own battles. So I think just educate yourself, educate the girls around you. I think that would be the most powerful thing to do. And then women have power. It's just that we don't exercise it. Any बच्चे को तुम harm करो and उसकी मम्मी आके ऐसे खड़ी हो जाएगी like a ferocious tiger. You had it if the mother comes. You had it. That's the power of a woman. She just has to believe in it. She just has to believe that this thing is valuable. She knows my child is valuable. She's fight for the child to the death. She currently doesn't realize that me, myself, am valuable. So she doesn't fight for herself. So I think education would change that.
Very true, very true. So my last question for this professional round will be, what advice tips would you give to an upcoming graphologist?
Oh, just go deep into it, just deep, deep, deep. Whatever the courses teach is the tip of the iceberg. Just keep analyzing, analyzing, analyzing. Don't be afraid of making mistakes because it's such a huge science that, you have to make mistakes. You have to learn various ways of communicating. And so I would say that every day analyze at least one handwriting for any upcoming graphologist. That would be my simple, powerful advice. Just analyze writing every single day and make yourself better every day. That would be my simple person to anybody wanting to.
In tips. So since we go to the next round, that is your personal journey round. So
Okay.
how has your childhood been?
Um, it was very sweet childhood. My mother there are 7 sisters. My mom being the eldest, and I'm the eldest. So I had 6 Masis who would keep me like this. I was pampered, and even today, my Masis, like if they have to say something, the first name that would come on their mouth is Preeti. And my cousin brothers and sisters say that all the time we keep listening your name at our home. Even if she has to call me, her first many a times the name will be Preeti. So I was really brought up with a lot of love, lot of care, and that in lot of ways shaped the way I am. For me, it is very difficult to imagine a world without love, a world without being kind. And so providing that space in soul writing is my prime objective. A safe space, a space of love, a space of empathy, where you just be what you are. Just be what you are. So childhood, in short, has been very, very nice. And later on, we were like 3 sisters and 1 brother. So all the siblings having fun and fights. My father, he worked. He was a working person. He was a chemist, quality control in Century Rayon, and he had minimal resources. You get paid after your PPF is cut and after all those. I don't remember how the salary slips look like, but after all the deductions, what you get at home is a very small amount. And there I saw a man who was not limited by that small salary. He found ways to generate wealth. despite that small salary. So I mean, today I realize he showed me that nothing is a limitation. You can do, you just have to think about it. So, and my mom being a person of such grit and determination that my father, he would say, क्यों जाना है swimming सिखाने, वो बहुत दूर है. And spending money on rickshaw was not feasible that time. But my mom was, swimming to sikhana hai. So we bought a cycle. She could cycle. So she would take two of us in cycle, drop us at certain place, again come back for the other two and take the other two. And that's how she would find, creative ways of giving us, what she felt was important at that point in time. So, I mean, she's a fighter woman. Even today, if she raises her voice, I'm like, okay, mama.
Interesting. A lot of memories are coming back.
Yeah.
Going through your profile, we saw that you have been taking part in car rallies. So tell us something about this interest in car rallies and how this journey has been.
So by nature, I'm an explorer, an adventurer. And luckily for me, my business partner was also an adventurer. So we, at one point in time, just came across, Red FM ka, an ad of a rally. And we were like, car rally? Kya hota hai? Let's go and find out. So we participated in the rally, not exactly knowing what we were doing, but we had fun. But after that, Times of India came into picture and they started organizing rallies. And boy, they were at a different level. And we must have participated in 10 or 11 car rallies. And we have won around 6 or 7 trophies. So that car rally is an adventure I think every person should have, either in car rally format or any other. But the idea of wanting to reach a place, but not knowing the way. So for example, when our rally was from Mumbai to, let's say, Lavasa, we know we have to reach Lavasa, but we have no idea which road we have to take. That tulip chart tells us. And that tulip chart is given to us just a minute before the flag off. So here you are knowing where you have to go, but no idea which road you have to take. And then the fun of, maintaining a particular speed, reaching at particular time, doing the calculations, and then the fight between the navigator and the driver. Are tune ye nahi dekha, are tune ye dekha. And then the satisfaction of having reached at that time and, counting the penalty points. Will we be in first 10? Will we be in first 3? Will we be in this? So I think that's somehow life, you want to go somewhere, but you don't know what road you're going to take and what will you encounter on that road. So it is one of the favorite parts of my life, the car rallies.
Interesting journey, interesting memories. So tell us something about your hobbies and interest from childhood and new hobbies which you have developed during the years.
So, I mean, like every child, I loved dancing. I had this wish of learning sitar as a child. All the songs which have sitar in them, they just kind of, make me vibrate at a different level. I mean, the moment that sitar just kind of, so it's very dear to me. So I thought one day I will learn sitar, and sitar is not an easy instrument. So when that opportunity came, I thought, let me start with guitar. So I started with guitar. And when I started with guitar, I realized it's not that easy to learn. Probably I did not give it enough time. So my dream of learning sitar is right now on hold because I've still to master guitar. So from guitar to sitar is how I see my journey to sitar. But yeah, dancing was something I really enjoyed, and instrument, music, those are things I really connect with. Just going out for a walk in nature, I mean, that is the ultimate of all the hobbies. I mean, it's not a hobby actually, it's a way to connect with yourself. But yeah, that is really wonderful. And so graphology at one point in time was a hobby. I learned it in 2009, and it was a hobby at that point in time. But you know, when you nurture something, it blossoms into something bigger than what I am. Today graphology is much bigger than who I am. It's a beautiful medium to connect with people, to help them grow the way I grew. So yeah, hobbies can be a game changer in many ways.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, who are the different persons who have impacted in your journey?
Many. And one of the first person who really made me dream was Dr. Abdul Kalam. The way he connected with children, his honesty, his childlike wonder about everything. You know, his white hair just didn't matter. Just look at his eyes. You know, and you know, here is a person who is a seeker, who has that childlike wonder. And he influenced me tremendously. And I though I have not really been in his presence, but I feel privileged that I have lived at a time that he lived. So I feel very fortunate for that. Another person who has very much impacted me is a little in a different way is Hemant Kumar. He's the singer. Uh, and his voice uh, did magic on me. And every time I connect with his voice, even today, I feel I'm kind of getting into my depths. And so he inspires me in a very, very different way. And then there have been many coaches and many teachers, Dr. Meghna Dikshit, Nayan Agarwal. I mean, her understanding of human behavior and the simplicity with which she explained things is wonderful. Selfless teachers like Manisha Shah, they have been very much instrumental in you know where I am today. A wonderful business coach like Shraddha Subramaniam, she has really been instrumental in giving shape to my dream. So I mean, there are many, and these are just people with designations I'm talking about, and there are so many others who have impacted my life who do not have a designation except being a friend. And they have greatly impacted my life, uh, and everything that I am today. Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. So, Preeti, how do you unwind and relax after a busy day of coaching and graphology sessions?
So one is a cup of coffee or tea. Other is I am blessed to be living on 25th floor, and I have a balcony here. I far off, but I get to see the Arabian Sea. So like even when I'm stressed during the work, I just step into the balcony. I sit there and I am de-stressed. So it, as a lone person in my own capacity, that is how I de-stress. But otherwise, being with family, just doing all nonsense things with family, laughing over anything stupid is is de-stressing. Watching those funny videos that my daughter comes up with. Mama, look, this one is trending. And at times I'm like, why is it trending? Like, why? For the life of me, tell me why. And, laughing it over. I mean, I think there is nothing like a laugh with your family and friend.
Yeah,
That's
very true. So your mantra for work-life balance, doing so many things. So
frankly, I don't think there's a balance. um, Popularly, it is known as work-life harmony. But more than that, in my experience, at least I'll talk from my experience. There is this book I was reading, The One Thing. And what I really liked in that is that while you have, that this is how you will lead your life, like the median line, the line of the best line, so to say. This side is imbalance, this side is imbalance. This side is work, this side is family. But there will always be a time when you have to digress. You have to go to this side to make yourself, upgrade or whatever. There are times when you have to digress to this side because that is the call of the time. That is the priority that time. One full good 1 year, or I would say 1.5 year, my family was frustrated. They would say, Sham ko aao, you are either reading or you are in some session. Sunday ko you are in a session. Saturday ko you are in a session. What is going on? So that 1 year, did I have a work-life balance? Absolutely not. But it was required at that point in time. I had to hone my craft. What I learned graphology as a hobby was not enough if I had to take it up as a career. So I had to dive deep into it, and I took my family into confidence. They did understand, but that didn't make them less frustrated or less, sad about me not being there. So that 1 year, the balance was in favor of work. There are times it comes to family. So I think it's a zigzag line where you eventually come to the middle line, but you have to travel left, you have to travel right, and then come back. So I think the key point is you come back to the middle path. I think that's what for me, the way I see work life for me. Yeah.
Very true. Very true. So continued conversation. Describe Preeti in one line.
Fun, kind, and explorer. An explorer.
Okay. Tell us something about your travel memories.
Oh, so many. Um, So a very deep connection travel memory was when in 11th standard, I had gone to Rameshwaram. I had visited Tirupati Mandir, and I had a kind of out of body kind of an experience. So that moment is etched in my mind. I guess it was the Tirupati vibes that helped me to really connect with myself. Then there are the fun times that I have gone out to travel with my friends. We've done all kind of stupid things, all kind of crazy things, car rallies being one of them. One very memorable thing was when I visited Leh Ladakh. This was the time when Leh Ladakh was not yet a union territory. It was Jammu and Kashmir. So I got to see a different side of India, a beautiful side of India. And Leh Ladakh is etched in my memory. I mean, those treeless mountains, one would say like barren mountains, but I mean, again, I can go on and on, but yeah, that was an experience in itself. Going to Kargil was an experience. It may not be the politically correct thing to say, but going there was a very different experience because of the kind of geographical position it has and the kind of population it has. So those are certain things that have stayed in my mind. And then Andaman Nicobar is another place. Ooh, the ocean, the blue ocean, and the snorkeling experience, seeing the underwater life. It's goosebumps.
Yes, I can see.
Yeah.
So coming to this conversation, last question I had, I was looking forward to another conversation over a cup of hot coffee. Yes, in person, we'll do that.
We should, yeah.
Yeah. So, what does Sri Shakti mean to you?
Standing up for yourself, being able to do what you want to do. If I want to be at home taking care of my family, being able to do that is Shakti. I want to go out and work, being able to do that is Shakti. So just being in my own power, being in charge of your life is, I think, Sri Shakti for me.
Very powerful message. So friends, we have come to the second round of knowing Preeti as a person. So now we go to the fun round.
Oh,
Rapid
okay.
fire.
Oh, there's one more round? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
To answer very quickly.
Sure.
And yes. Morning person or night person?
Morning.
Okay. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Okay. So you'll get a coffee mug. Okay.
Cheers.
Yes. Uh, Favorite movie?
Favorite movie?
Fast, fast.
Oh gosh. Recently I saw a Gujarati movie, Kasumbo. It was a very different kind of a movie. So not a favorite movie, but a very different kind of a movie.
Interesting, interesting. Okay. You're a sweet person or savory person?
Both. Both, and in good quantities.
Your favorite dish? Gujju dish?
Gujju dish, dal dhokli.
Wow.
And theplas though is default. Gujarati is equal to thepla, so that is default. And dal dhokli, yeah.
Favorite Gujarati restaurant?
My mom's kitchen.
Interesting, interesting. So you have come to this rapid fire. You took some time, but you answered very well. So friends, it was a lovely conversation which we had, knowing the nuances of graphology. So anyone who wants to have a graphology session, Preeti Gandhi is a person to go to. You will get her details in when the episode is uploaded in the comment section. So friends, do subscribe to our Coffee Conversation channel on YouTube. We look forward to another coffee episode with another person and another guest in the next episode, either in person or Zoom, wherever it's practical to have. So it is a lovely journey. Friends, we'll be taking a 4 years journey in the month of April. So look forward to a lot of surprises, which will be announced on social media. So stay connected, and anyone wants to be a guest speaker, do drop in an email on social media, to drop in a message. Would love to invite you to a guest and have a session with you to learn about you as a person on your personal, professional journey and have a fun round. So thank you, everyone.